Hi everybody, it's Talk to Me Tuesday, and it is actually Tuesday and it's the 10th of April. And I don't have a huge amount to show you this week, but I wanted to make I look like I've got a niffler growing out of my head, which is really appropriate for in a minute, which you'll see in a minute. Yes, it's Tuesday and it is 10th of April and the children are back to school now, so they're all back to normal. And I'm back to work, and I haven't done a huge amount. I've got something that I'm currently working on with this piece of fabric, which is one that I believe Rainy sent to me. I'm sure it was Rainy last year for my birthday swap. So yes, it's something in progress, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that next week. I wanted to show it today, but I just ran out of steam last night and couldn't finish it off. So only two small things to show you. One is sewing and one isn't sewing. So I'll show you the sewing one first. I'm going to a weekend away in May with some friends to a quilt show. Nothing like the shows you guys have over there, but basically it's just a big venue that has hundreds and hundreds of stalls in it selling the latest quilt fabric and gadgets and all those things, and there are some quilts on display, but we don't generally tend to look at them, unfortunately. We're generally much busier shopping, and I go with 6 friends who now live further away from me than before, and we stay the weekend in a cottage on the river, and we basically eat fudge and sew and talk about fabric, and generally that's all we do. We don't tend to drink, but we do tend to just eat a lot of fudge and snacks and things. And last year when we went, I haven't got it here to show, I'll have to show it to you next week. A friend of mine actually made everybody individual bags with various things in it. She made mine out of the Tula Pink Elizabeth I fabric, because she knows I absolutely adore most Tula Pink fabrics apart from the cat foods. No offence, I'm not a cat person, and I don't like the cat ones, but aside from that, I love Tula Pink fabric. So she made me a bag, just a drawstring bag, and she filled it with all sorts of bits and pieces, a tape measure. She gave us these funky tins, which I've currently just got a lot of bits in, and she gave us things like these little wooden sewing machine buttons and coloured safety pins, that kind of thing. Coloured safety pins, and a thimble ring. Anyway, I probably showed you all of that last year, but she went to a lot of effort. So this year I thought I would make something for everybody, and I've been back and forth about what to make, because it needs to be something not using a huge amount of fabric, because I don't want everybody to sort of go, oh, you've spent loads of money, and I don't want to spend loads of money. So I've decided to make these little bags, and I'm going to also make a smaller version of what I've got here, which is going in matching fabric, which is going to be like a pincushion, and I'm going to get some what they call kilt pins and make them brooches with different things on them. So I'm doing 3 little things. So the bag I made, this is my trial. Again, this fabric came from Rainy, and it is Alice in Wonderland, and the lady who I'm intending to have this is absolutely Alice obsessed. So I made just a little triangle pouch. It's got wadding in it to keep it nice and stiff. It's got lining fabric, and it's just serged inside, because you know it's going to be just a little pouch. But what my intention is to get some more of these wonderful clips and just get sort of handful and put a handful in there so that it can sit on a desk with the clips in it. So that is the intention for that one. And then, as I said, there's going to be a matching slightly smaller pin cushion, and I'm going to try my hand at making some of those fancy pins that you see standing in pin cushions with Alice things on top. So that was my prototype, and I'm happy with that. That's a Crafty Gemini tutorial that I followed, but there's hundreds of tutorials for vouchers. And the only other thing I wanted to talk to you or mention was that at the weekend we went to York, which is about a 2.5 hour journey from where I am. We were already going an hour and a half that way to do something else that was going to be really quick but had to be done. So we went and did that first, and then we carried on up to York. And in York, as well as a castle, or the remains of a castle, there is a place called the Shambles, which is a street that is Tudor houses and Tudor shops. I'm trying to think if I've actually got... Let me just grab my pictures. I haven't actually posted my postcards yet. But yes, so it's Tudor shops, so they're little shops that sort of overhang, and it's a tiny cobbled street. And it is said to be the place that J.K. Rowling got her inspiration for Diagon Alley. So this is a postcard, so you'll have to bear with me that it's a bit glossy and reflective, but it looks a bit like this. But when we went, it wasn't that sunny. It was quite rainy and dark. I'm trying to think if I've got a better picture. That one. Some of you may well recognise these postcards because they are going to be winging their way to you soon. They're all written, I just haven't sent it. But because of the Harry Potter connection, there are now 3 Harry Potter shops on the Shambles. There's one called The Shop That Can't Be Named. There is The Boy Wizard and the Harry Potter, I think the other one's called The Magical World or something like that. And because the shops are these tiny little shops, you think the twins shop in Harry Potter, they're small, and they're sort of all pokey nooks and crannies, and you can't just walk into them. You have to go in groups because they can't let too many people in them at once because they get too crowded and things. So they all basically sell the same stuff. It's all Harry Potter stuff, and unfortunately I didn't have a huge amount of money with me to go and buy Harry Potter stuff. However, I did get myself the softest, cuddliest thing ever, and it's one of these guys that you can see peeking out of my head. It's a Niffler! Hang on a minute. Hello. What can I do for you?
What are you doing?
I'm recording a video. Go on, bed. You should be in bed. Go to sleep.
Alright.
Love you. She's in it once. She wants to be in it every week. Yes, I got a Niffler. And this is my Niffler. We haven't decided on a name for the Niffler yet because, I don't know. I need to call him a name that begins with a N. And we've come up with suggestions of Ned and Norris and Nettie. But as yet, no name has approached me. But he has a coin and he has a little pocket here for his little precious things. I love my Niffler. So yes, I have a Niffler. I had to get him. And aside from that, I have not a lot else to show you. So the Niffler and I will see you next week, where hopefully we will have some sewing to show you. And until then, I'm just going to keep cuddling him because he's so soft. I'm determined to catch up with, well, I won't be able to catch up because I've missed too many videos, but I'm determined to watch everybody's videos this week and comment. Thank you for all my comments. I haven't got around to commenting back because there's just been so much going on, which I will in due course tell you about all the different things that have been going on once they're all sorted. But right now it's just a lot going on. So the Niffler and I are going, but if you ever come to England, you really need to go to York. The Shambles, it feels like Diagon Alley. It's just, yeah, it's a lovely place to go, and there's a really good castle there as well, or the remains of a castle, and has a huge amount of history in York. Anyway, I'm going. So it's going to be a quick video, but it's not that quick. I will see you all next week, hopefully on Tuesday.